Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Free Terrible Gamers. I'm your host Colin. I'm here with Ashton as always. It never fails.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right, starting back up where we left last week is Apple reportedly making a VR slash AR headset. What is your opinion on that?
I think it's pretty cool. The source was Bloomberg that announced the whole thing. Just says Apple has already shared the device with a small number of high-profile software developers for testing, letting them get started on third-party apps. The device's operating system called Borealis, and then it'll be publicly named XROS. But it's just a virtual reality slash augmented reality VR headset that's supposed to compete with the PC market, they say, but it's mainly just to go against Oculus and the PSVR and all that. But it's pretty cool. It's been announced or reported that Apple's been wanting to get into the gaming market for past several years. And this may be what they were talking about. Maybe people thought it was going to be a console, but knowing Apple, I don't think they go for a console. They go for something like this to get into the gaming market. So, I mean, it may not even be completely true, but with all this information out, I'd say more than likely it is true, and it'll probably be announced in March. Is usually when Apple has their big event for the year.
Yeah, the source I seen was calling it the Reality Pro. Don't know. I mean, different source yet again. Like you said, it's still speculation at this point.
Right.
But like you said, it's like taking. It's basically an Oculus. But I think with it being Apple, it's more along the lines of like what Meta slash Facebook is doing with their VR headsets right now. It's like not as high tech as the PS. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure it will be when it's all said and done. But yet again, PlayStation has obviously more games that they can put on it than what Apple could ever put on it, just because Apple hasn't been around long enough in the gaming world for that to work. Then you've seen what they've done with Fortnite.
Yeah, still not allowed on their platform, but you can get around that. I have. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool for Apple to start doing something like this. I think you can tell they're wanting to try to get into the gaming market more with their Apple Arcade that they've had on their
Mm-hmm.
devices for the past few years, and they have some exclusives on there. And some of them are pretty decent, but some of them are just iPhone games. But it's saying that if it is true that it would ship later this year in the fall, and the reported price is 2 to 3 grand.
Yeah, it's a little on the expensive side.
A little bit, but it is an Apple product, so typically Apple products do go for a lot of money.
I'm sure it'll be some sort of deal whenever you upgrade your phone plan.
Yeah, maybe.
There, we'll take $2 off of it if you upgrade now.
Maybe it'll come with a year free trial of Apple Arcade.
You got to pay for Apple Arcade now.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm actually kind of glad I switched to Android at this point.
I mean you can still get games off of the App Store, but the actual subscription Apple Arcade you got to pay for.
Yeah, makes sense. I thought it was one and the same for gaming side.
No, it's a whole different thing now since you left Apple.
Gotcha. All right, going on to the next topic. I guess this is almost not relevant, but still is because I think one or two of these still hasn't came out yet, or they just got released. But the January Game Pass games, obviously this month.
Yep. January 3rd was Stranded Deep. January 5th, Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition. January 19th, Persona 3 Portable. January 19th, also for Persona 4 Golden. January 20th, Monster Hunter Rise. January 31st, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, January 31st, Inkulinati, and January to be determined, not sure what day yet, is RoboQuest. So those are the games that are coming out or have already came out in the month of January. The only ones that maybe that I would even consider playing is Monster Hunter Rise, because Monster Hunter games are pretty good. I've played a couple of them. I like them pretty well.
I never heard of Monster Hunter. I've heard of the Persona series, but
You
I
haven't
think
heard
they're
of Monster Hunter?
mm-mm.
They're pretty good. I've played a couple of them, but I've heard of the Personas too, but I'm not a big fan of those.
I think I've played Age of Empire as well, like back in the day, but it's more of a, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's more of a tower defense situation from what I remember.
I think so. Something along those lines, I believe, if I'm thinking the right thing.
Like something like a tower defense cross like Heyday.
Yeah,
Like you just wait, collect. I guess technically kind of like a Clash of Clans.
I haven't played Clash of Clans forever.
I still hop on there.
I've heard of Stranded Deep, but I've never played it. Not sure how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it around just because of gaming advertisements, but other than that, I haven't really paid attention to it. Didn't
Yeah,
ever seem like it interested me, so obviously I never looked into it
right.
until we was looking this up for the podcast. Uh, on to the next PS Plus games for January.
All right. Got for the PS Plus Extra and Premium tiers, we got Back for Blood for the PS4 and the PS5, Dragon Ball Fighters for the PS4, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition for the PS5, Life is Strange Before the Storm for the PS4, Life is Strange for the PS4, Jet the Far Shore PS4 and PS5, Just Cause 4 Reloaded PS4, Omno for the PS4, Erica PS4, and just for the premium edition is the Siphon Filter 3
I'm glad you
PS1 Star Wars.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. My contacts messed up. I can't. It's all blurry. But Star Wars Demolition PS1, Hot Shots Golf 2 PS1. Got a couple good PS1 games in that premium tier there for this month. So
Definitely a throwback. So I'm guessing their premium is kind of like the Nintendo Switch Online or like the older consoles.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, it's just they're higher tier, so they get more stuff. And a lot of people were hoping that it would be that they get quite a few of PS2 games, but as of so far, they haven't got any PS2 games. So maybe that'll come eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I think Back for Blood is pretty cool, but I was also a Left 4 Dead person, so it's a successor to it. So I think it's not quite a sequel, but it is at the same time because I know
Yeah,
they, I think 2 or 3 Left 4 Deads before this one came out. Then Devil May Cry. It's obviously always been a good series. It's a hack and slash.
right. Well, everybody loves that series, and Just Cause. A lot of people like that series too.
Yeah, Just Cause is pretty good. It's pretty much a like a clean Grand Theft Auto, I guess you could
Yeah,
say. Definitely don't have none of the nudity and stuff,
right.
but it's just as action packed and doing all the other stuff. Then Dragon Ball Z, of course, for any anime lover, is a good dig for the PS Plus if you don't have it already.
I've never been a big fan of Dragon Ball Z.
Neither have I. I mean, I watched it not near as much as what I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, but it was mainly just because it was on after.
Yeah,
and you going to bed at around that time, so it was just whatever. Sometimes I forgot to turn off the TV and it was on.
yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh is where it was at.
That's right. That's the anime I fell in love with. But like I said, Dragon Ball Z, it still wasn't bad. For I mean, I know a lot of people will probably hate us for that, like especially the true anime heads. But
Oh yeah, people will hate us. People get a lot of backlash on that.
like I said, my opinion on it is, I just preferred Yu-Gi-Oh. I preferred the card, but yet again, one was a game, and then one was not a game. So,
Right?
yeah, and this is a gaming podcast, so I guess it's technically more relatable in a sense, anyways.
Yeah,
Makes more sense on our part.
right. Which Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball franchise has got quite a few games in the past.
Hmm.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh's got a few, but not nearly as much as Dragon Ball Z
No, but yet again, it's kind of hard to do stuff and keep stuff entertaining
card game.
with a card game, opposed to literally with Dragon Ball Z. You can do anything with it. You can do a hack and slash. You can do a Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter scenario.
Yeah,
You
well,
can
they've had
pretty.
several skins on Fortnite for Dragon Ball Z.
Mhm. So yet again, it's one of those things where for us, Yu-Gi-Oh is obviously more appealing because gaming related to it. But at the same time, Dragon Ball Z, like you said, has more actual video
Yeah,
games. Because what I'm off the top of my head, I can think of probably three Yu-Gi-Oh games. One per pretty much console generation after the GameCube, not counting cell phone ones.
yeah, not counting soft phones. I remember one. I think two came out for the GameCube, and then after that, just maybe one or two that I can think of.
Yeah, because we had one,
Yeah,
and then it might have been the same game for the Game Boy. I want to say that I have it. I'm not
maybe.
for sure.
Remember, I've never played it for the Game Boy. Any Yu-Gi-Oh game.
I might be thinking of He-Man though. Might be He-Man.
We had He-Man. We both had He-Man.
Don't know. Don't hold me to it, guys. I'm the one that always says Lucy stuff that sometimes turns out to be exactly right, but don't ever hold me on it. All right. A new PS5 bundle spotted out in the
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. It was in the Wild Country website of Australia that I was spotted, but it was took down immediately after. But it was a PS5 bundle with two DualSense controllers, and then it was taken down, and it was saying in Australian money, whatever they call their currency, I'm not sure, but it was over $800 for them. So adjust that to the U.S. market, and that's probably what it'd be around here. But that's pretty cool. Even back in the day, it was hard to get a console that came with two controllers bundled in with it. They always would bundle with just one, and you'd always have to buy one separate. Once in a while, you'd find a good bundle for two, but most times, often most often, you'd find just one, and you have to buy it separate.
So you're saying one controller is worth $300?
To Sony, they are.
I mean, I guess Australian currency. I don't. I mean, we're thinking of it obviously off of our currency, but yet again, I don't know how the currency ratio works. So it's possible that the 800 or whatever it is there is equal to about whatever's 550 here.
Yeah, you also got to think they raised the price of the PS5 in every country except for the US so far too. So I don't know what it costs normal for just one controller there right now. So
I still don't think it costs 300 of anything.
right, it may
Maybe
not, but
yen if you're in China, but just because yen is pretty much equal out, like 300 yen is like $25.
yeah. But I know they raised the prices of just the standard PS5 everywhere else, so I don't know how much they've raised it. I know they've raised it at least $50, not 300, but
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, if you got the money to spend for an extra controller, but then again, you might just be able to get an actual decent bundle and just pay for one controller and then just pay for one separately.
yeah,
What I
right
do,
now,
because I wouldn't pay $300 for a controller in our situation.
no. Usually you can get a DualSense controller for 60, $70.
Mm-hmm. The other cool ones I've seen though, just staying on the bundle thing, is they got a Horizons one now. They got an MW2 one, and of course there's Ragnarok.
Yeah, and there's actually a Ragnarok PS5 bundle in stock here in Punxsutawney that I've seen in Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first PS5 I've ever seen in stock anywhere. Most of the time they're always sold out. I've still never seen a Series X in store. I've seen Series S's all over the place, but not a Series X.
I've seen one down here. Still looks nice, but still,
Yeah,
still waiting on it.
yeah, me too.
I might get it in the next 4 generations.
I might get it. Yeah, whenever it's considered retro and it's cheaper.
That's right.
Wait about 20 years and then pick it up.
That seems about right at this point, especially the way the inflation's going with this stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Everything's costing too much.
And I'll do it for the sake of this podcast eventually, but until that point comes, there ain't no need in it right now.
No, yeah. Like to stream some Series X games for you guys on Twitch, but gotta wait to get a Series X and a capture card first.
Oh. Now, speaking of newish consoles, I mean, obviously they've been out for a hot minute now, but the Switch is getting a new operating system.
Yeah, I seen the source was GameRant.com. I seen it was from Red Deer Games that was developing it. I guess it's called the new operating system or NOS. It will be a Switch app that promises to turn Nintendo's latest handheld console into a full-fledged tablet. Usually, when they do stuff like this with the homebrew community, they use Android operating system to boot it up on the Switch to make it an Android tablet. Um, but this app, it'll come with a calculator, notepad, day planner, to-do list, paint app, and a multimedia gallery. But it'll also, I mean, if it's Android, you can put whatever you want Android wise on there. You can install APK files, whatever, any apps that way, side loaded pretty much. Um, but I will say that as the Switch ages, I mean, it'll be 6 in March. So as it ages, the homebrew community will grow stronger and come up with newer ideas for hacking the Switch and putting new things on it for not even just emulation, but mainly emulation, but not just emulation, just for anything really to do with the Switch. So if you can run Android on it, you pretty much do whatever you want on it. And with it being a Switch, you could probably emulate pretty highly up on the console market with it. So
Oh yeah,
at least
definitely.
I'd say at least be able to get up the GameCube on it emulation wise if you want to run Dolphin or Dolphin MMJR on it.
I'll definitely probably be going for the operating system.
Yeah.
Get into my emulators finally.
On your
One thing,
Switch.
yeah. Until Nintendo breaks down and like decides to kill everybody's profile for it.
So say if I watch, I'd wait until they discontinue the Switch so they're not updating anymore so they don't brick your Switch.
Yeah, that's true. But
Once it's
sometimes
bricked, you can't use it anymore.
that's true. I've
That's
already
why I
tried to.
waited. That's why I waited until the Wii U was dead before I hacked it.
Fair enough. Be able to Hack the 3DS here soon.
Oh, I already did.
It's shut down. What we discussed it last week, a week before.
They don't show enough attention to it since Twitch is out, so I figured it was safe to go ahead and hack it.
And no one cares about the Wii U anymore.
No, we ordered 3DS. They got a 2-in-1 on the Switch. So
Yep. All right. I guess it's kind of looping back into the beginning of the podcast, but Game Pass holders can now get Skate free, which to me is just a can't even think of the guy's name. Tony Hawk ripoff.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah,
Those are good games. But yeah, the source here is also GameRant.com. Skate 3 DLC is free with a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, not just a Game Pass
right.
subscription. It has to be Ultimate. Um, and of course, this comes with the base game. And it's hard to believe that Skate 3 was released back in 2010. Doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it was. And it's still a loved game by the community to this day. A lot of people I see online still play it a lot. I mean, most people still prefer the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, specifically the first two. But Skate 3, I played it. It's pretty good. I think I got it free on Games of Gold one time.
Gotcha. Is it exactly what I said? It's just a ripoff of Pro Skater.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But I mean, I guess to a certain extent, you can only go so far with those games.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, skateboarding and stuff like that. I mean, shoot, even with MX versus ATV, there's still only so much you can do with those games without copying another company.
Right. Yeah. There's only so much you can do with stuff like that.
I mean, just like Forza Horizon does every single year, they just keep on updating. I mean, they can actually change their game once in a generation of their release. But if you're constantly having all kinds of different games doing the same exact thing, you're just going to have that run in anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of Forza Motorsport's coming out soon.
So it's a Forza series for ATVs and MXs.
Mm-mm. It's just it instead of Forza Horizon, you can drive and go wherever you want after the races or in between races or whatever. Forza Motorsport has always been like you just go from race to race to race to race. It's a different take
Oh, it's
on the
a great thing game of it.
yeah,
I thought they had like 8 of them out already.
they do.
Oh,
This is a new one.
gotcha. Oh, and if
They're
you say motorsports, I automatically go to like race, like full racing.
yeah, Motorsport sounds like dirt bikes and
I hadn't seen it yet, so that's why I was like, oh, okay.
yeah.
All right, we'll get behind this.
I don't even know when it's coming out. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, I mean, they tend to release in the springtime for most of their games that do come out.
Yeah, and they're still saying Starfield's supposed to come out in the first half of 2023, but I think it's the 25th of January that Xbox is going to hold their own direct, and I've heard that Starfield's not going to be there, so it may be delayed till the second half of 2023.
Yeah, time will definitely tell since it's just around the corner.
Yeah, I know a lot of
Oh,
people looking forward to Starfield, including myself, so it'd be really suck if it was delayed.
it would, but you never know if it's like how it is with Tears of the Kingdom. There's like, oh, okay, we need this extra time to get it in, but you don't want it to be a failure like Cyberpunk right out the gates either.
Right, and it's technically made by Bethesda, which has always been known to release buggy games before they were acquired by Microsoft. So now that they're acquired by Microsoft, Phil Spencer, I would say, would not let them release a buggy game like that, like they're known for, because people call them Bugfesda. So
Yeah. Look at Fallout 76.
yeah,
Really? Them and Ubisoft aren't much different when it comes down to stuff like that.
almost the exact same company when it comes to that.
Okay, yeah, we can do this. Oh, nope, we failed. But you guys still love us, and you're still going to pay $70 a pop since games have increased now.
Yeah, and people still do pay it.
That's right. All right. I guess we're just swooping back a bunch in this episode.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess it's just how I accidentally listed it. I guess I could have listed it better and changed my order. But as I told Ashton before the thing, I forgot that I had two different sets of notes, so I just have them in all at last. So that's why I didn't organize them better. But uh, yet again, if you are a PS Plus holder, you can get a Gotham Knights free trial. You can't get the game, but you can get the free trial of it.
yeah, that's pretty cool. It wasn't accepted well at release, and it still sits at a 68 on Metacritic. So try it out with the free trial to see if you like it. Some people do like it, so this would be a good way to try the game before you buy it. That way, where it does sit at 68, you're not buying a junk game and you waste your money.
I mean, 68 out of 100 is still over two-thirds of the people like it, critics and everything else. So, I mean, I guess there's a 2 or 3 chance of you liking it. So, you got 2 out of 3 chances of a terrible gamer liking this.
Right.
But if you're a fellow terrible gamer, which obviously you are if you're listening to this podcast, even though you like hearing our voice, uh, I mean, there's a good chance you'll like it. Like I said, I think I'd like it. Yet again, still haven't bought it, still haven't played it, but like I said, it's just my type of style of game though. So it's like I said, for me, I personally think I would like it if I sat down and played it. But don't got a PlayStation, so I don't got a free trial to try it out with, anyways.
All right. I think I would like it. I like the Batman games like Arkham Knight and stuff like that. So I think I would like it. But a lot of people just, it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. They thought it was going to be your traditional Batman game, but it isn't. You have four playable characters. So they kind of had to switch it up a little bit there somewhere.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess that method's kind of hard to counteract. I mean, I know
It is.
because SpongeBob, like Battle for Bikini Bottom, even struggled with it a little bit whenever you had to switch in between SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy,
Yeah.
and that game was pretty much meant for it because that was that style of play for the game. And then for Gotham Knights, like you said, people expected it to be like the Arkham series, or is it Arkham series, Arkham Knight, or is that just this game on it?
Arkham Knight's just a game.
So it is like the Batman series, but Arkham just happens to be a game in the series.
Yes.
Okay. I always get that part confused. I always want to think that it's based. I mean, obviously, I know it's not completely just Arkham, and it's usually Gotham, not Arkham. But I was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That would be a cooler name for it. But
Right.
and who am I? I'm just a podcaster. But yeah, in all actuality, like I said, it's my style of gameplay, but it's not to other people. It's just like, oh, okay, I got to switch in between 4 characters. Yet again, haven't played it, so I don't know if it's like backstories and everything else comes into play. I'm sure it does because that's your typical cliche, run of the mill hero story.
Right.
Uh, hit one more random one.
Go ahead and touch on one of yours, and then I'll say mine. Mine ain't gonna take very long.
Well, for you music lovers of old retro games, The Simpsons Hit and Run is now available to listen to on Spotify, where more than likely you are listening to this podcast at anyways.
Oh, wow. Our analytics say Apple Podcasts taken over.
Is that podcast taking over?
It is.
Oh my. That's a first.
Yeah, it is. Usually Spotify was like 80-20 on Apple Podcasts when we first started.
Well, you guys are better than me having Apple devices. Who am I kidding? I can still listen to it on Apple Podcasts if I want to, because we know Spotify don't let me listen to us.
I don't know why. It won't let me on my own either, but I can listen to it on my phone just fine.
Like I said, if I use it, I'll just hop on Red Circle and listen to it anyways, if that's the case.
Right.
Which you guys can go to Red Circle too, if you decide to go that route, listen to us.
Yeah. But I'll touch on my topic real quick. I know we've talked about the Gulliket Hall effect sensor joysticks in the past that drift free. They have released Joy-Con sticks officially on Amazon that are 100% drift free using that technology, and they will be in this episode's description. So if you guys want to pick those up through Amazon, through us, they will be in the description. That way you will no longer have to suffer with Joy-Con drift.
I love your topic, how it turned into a segue.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
was leading
smooth,
up
isn't
to
it?
a segue, and then you just ran over with a segue.
That's right.
All right. Well, that is it for today's episode. Go follow our Facebook for more updates, our TikTok if you like hearing us in little tiny clips. Uh, Patreon. If you want some merch, go to Redbubble.
And we'll be
Redbubble.
picking up some here pretty soon to wear so you guys can see it.
That's right. We can stop being hypocritical. That way we can actually show it off in person.
Yep.
You guys can still come together if you want to, though.
Yeah. About it. Join our Discord. We still want to chat with you guys. We'd love to have just a casual conversation with you guys and any feedback that you guys would have. Join it. Talk to us. It's free.
That's right. Well, later, guys.
See you guys next week.